Hello and welcome back to Ikigai Teen Podcast. I'm your host Irene and I'm so glad you joined me today. In our very first episode earlier this week, we began exploring one of the most influential books on growth and success called Principles by Ray Dalio. His principles have guided some of the world's most respected leaders and CEOs. At Ikigai Teen, we believe those same principles can and should guide our teenagers too. Because here's the truth, teens are not just learners of today, they are leaders of tomorrow. And the sooner we help them adopt clearer, tested principles, the stronger, wiser, and more resilient they'll become. Our goal at Ikigai Teen is to reimagine the principles practiced in boardrooms and simplify them for daily application in classrooms, homes, and friendships. Today, we'll continue with six more principles from Dalio's framework. Each one of them will give you, as parent or educators, new insights on how to nurture teens in practical, meaningful ways. So, let's dive in. Principle 7. Understand that people are wired differently. Every teen is unique in personality, learning style, and strengths. Some are analytical, others are creative. Some thrive under structure, while others bloom in freedom. Frustration often comes when we expect teens to be who they are not. Parents and educators must recognize wiring differences not as flaws but as design. When we stop comparing and start appreciating, teens feel safe to grow in their own rhythm. Think of a garden. A rose and a cactus cannot be judged by the same measure. Both are beautiful, but in their own environments. Respecting differences helps each plant and each teen flourish. When we honor how teens are wired, we build their confidence to grow into who they are meant to be. Principle 8. Constantly learn and evolve. The world is changing faster than ever. The skills that matter today may be irrelevant tomorrow. That's why the habit of continuous learning is more important than grades or degrees. For teens, it means staying curious, asking questions, and not fearing change. Parents can model this by being learners too, picking up a new hobby, reading widely, or even admitting, I don't know, let's learn together. And this will encourage teens to be on the same mode. Think of your phone's software. If you never update it, it slows down and becomes outdated. Learning, therefore, is the update that keeps us effective in a changing world. A learning mindset ensures our teens are always ready for tomorrow, no matter what it brings. Principle 7. Use the 80-20 rule. Not all actions produce equal results. The 80-20 rule says 20% of efforts create 80% of outcomes. For teens, this means focusing on the few priorities that matter most instead of being overwhelmed by everything on the list. As parents, helping teens identify their big rocks like health, like studies, and meaningful activities prevents burnout and builds focus. Imagine packing a jar with rocks and sand. If you put sand first, the rocks don't fit. But if you put rocks first, then the sand slips through the gaps and everything fits. So, teaching teens the 80-20 mindset builds focus and balance in a noisy, demanding world. Over to principle 10. Create guardrails through systems. Teens thrive with freedom, but freedom without structure often leads to chaos. Guardrails are like systems that prevent unnecessary mistakes. This could be a study routine, a digital boundary, or a family check in every evening. These systems don't suffocate, they liberate. Because when small things are handled automatically, energy is freed up for creativity and joy. Think of highways. Without guardrails, even skilled drivers can swerve into danger. Guardrails, therefore, don't limit the drive, they make the journey safer and faster. So, the right systems keep teens free to thrive without falling into avoidable traps. Principle 7. Don't confuse goals with tasks. Many teens chase small tasks but lose sight of the big picture. For example, completing homework is a task, but learning to think critically is a bigger goal. Parents often emphasize tasks do this, clean that, get that done, without giving the larger rationale for the goal. Clarity on goals gives purpose to daily actions, it transforms chores into something meaningful. On goals gives purpose to daily actions. It transforms chores into steps towards something larger and meaningful. Think of a puzzle. Each piece of the puzzle is a task, but without knowing the puzzle picture on the box or the rules on the box, the pieces are meaningless. But knowing those rules makes each of the pieces valuable and makes sense of the game. When teens align daily tasks with meaningful goals, even small efforts feels rewarding. Principle 12. Dream big, start small. Dalio reminds us that principles aren't just about discipline, they're about possibility. Teens must be encouraged to dream without limits, but equally important is to teach them to start small with daily habits and consistent action. Parents can empower teens by asking, what's the one small step you can get done towards your dream today? This builds both vision and discipline on a daily basis. Imagine climbing a mountain. The summit is inspiring, but you only reach it one step at a time. Every small step matters. Dreaming big gives direction. Starting small ensures progress towards the dream. Together, they create transformation. That brings us to the end of episode 2 of Ikigai Teen podcast. Today we explored second set of 6 principles from Ray Dalio's book Principles. If you missed episode 1, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to our episode 1. That was our very first episode in the podcast series. Comment on how this episode helps you feel more aware and prepared as a parent or educator. Tell us what kind of resources you'd like more of. Your feedback helps us curate the very best support that matches your needs. And stay tuned because our next episode will draw from another phenomenal resource, this time written specially for teens. I promise it's going to be full of practical insights. At Ikigai Teen, our vision is clear. Teens are not just our private asset, but the wealth of the world. Together, let's nurture them to live that truth so we can build a better tomorrow. I'm Irene, and this has been the Ikigai Teen podcast. Thank you for listening and look forward to having you with me in the next episode. Click below for the parent resource and see you there.